I can't honestly just put these notes in and I'll send them.
No, no. Sorry. All right, guys. So before we are starting with the introduction, etc., we would love to do a little
Sync up.
sync up.
Yeah. So we know what you're thinking about,
Yes.
as the Germans would say.
Gary, would you like to take over and give us a little?
So we're going
experience?
to sync all of our energies. And even if you're watching, you can do this with us. Take your right foot, just cross over your left. Take your right hand, put it underneath your left armpit. And you do standing too. And left hand on top. So give yourself a hug. Turn your head to the left and your body to the right. And we're going to take 6 breaths together. 3 through the mouth and 3 through the nose. Breathe into your mouth. 2, 3, through the nose, 2, 3. Okay. Feels like you're in a little bit of a bubble now.
Do you feel a shift?
So what happens is when you breathing is a mechanism of syncing, but when the body's in the same exact position mechanically, it syncs the frequency of the body. So very much like if you were walking for 30 minutes, your foot stride would sync, your heart would start to sync. And you can see this with a synchronized swimming team or a dance team. They move in sync when they're going to move because they need to be in sync without any thought.
Right.
Yeah. So this is a way to do it in 6 breaths.
Nice. Okay. So everyone can do this at home or whenever you are kind of like in a situation where you.
Well, practically speaking, these are, a lot of the things that come up with miscommunications is because we're not on the same frequency. Imagine you're in a meeting and somebody comes in, you've been in a meeting for half an hour, somebody comes in late out of traffic. It's like they don't fit into that meeting. They were saying things the wrong way, they're not in that frequency. So you just sync yourself right back up and right there. So we do it before every meeting, we do it before we eat. Also, you notice when you eat, it takes about 20 minutes to feel hungry. The reason why is because there's a slight sympathetic response in the body.
Mm-hmm.
So I do that before I eat, and instantaneously, I don't have to wait that 20 minutes to feel hungry.
Interesting. Let me introduce you. Yeah, to specifically the audience and also our audience. Tonight we have a very special Long Gravity Salon. First one in English. And a few weeks ago, Gary and I met in Corfu at the Health Optimization Retreat. And we were hiking. We were hiking down a mountain after a really nice experience as well. And we were ending up talking about fascia. We were talking about inflammation, the nervous system, the oral health, and how this deeper connected with our overall body and healing as well. I was quite fascinated about our conversation, because it moved much more beyond health optimization, and we went into a kind of like a better understanding why our body actually is not separate parts like we normally see in the oral health industry as well. You only look at the teeth, but it's much more. It's a connected intelligence. This whole body is totally connected and communicating as well. Gary Lineham. Gary Lineham is the co-founder of Human Garage, one of the fastest growing global movement around fascia, nervous system regulation, and self-healing. You have a big mission. Yeah. Today you are already working with 50 million people already worldwide practicing Human Garage, fascial maneuvers. His work or your work is reaching top athletes around the world, hospitals, trauma recovery programs, millions of people searching in the end for a natural connection to themselves. So you are on the mission to empower 1 billion people around the world to heal themselves. And that is a deep honor as well. And we're super happy to join this movement from today on. Gary, thanks a lot for being here. I'm really looking forward to the conversation. Gary, let's talk about your journey first.
Sure.
How did you end up creating Human Garage? What was the reason?
Well, Human Garage wasn't really, it was an idea which was just how do I help myself? And the name Human Garage itself, which is the obvious question. It started off because Nella and I started the seeing people in the garage of our place in Venice. So it was a clinic that we started in the garage. Now, we had a clinic and I was with another partner and we were doing stuff that was outside of the modalities of that clinic because we were experimenting. And so that's where the experimentation started. So it literally started in the garage in Venice. And we had mainstream celebrities there. We had like DC comic heroes, Brandon Roth, who's Superman, and Katie Lotz, and people like that coming to this garage in Venice. And there's very few places in the world that you could actually start out a clinic in somebody's garage or in their home. And that's how it started.
How was the journey to get to this kind of like garage or the clinic? So because before you had also a normal life, let's say, before this whole topic of
normal's normal could be looked at different ways. Yeah.
Right.
No, my life was never very normal, but I was just somebody looking to feel better in my body my whole life, and I had a series of concussions. I had car accidents, and between the concussions and the car accidents and a bodybuilding accident, which wasn't technically that serious, it just spawned on this constant trying to fix something, going to chiropractors and doctors and physical therapists and every kind of therapist you can imagine to try and feel comfortable in my body. Then most people ask, like, what kind of pain was it? It started off as a physical pain, but if you have a physical pain long enough, any kind, you become emotional.
Right.
And if you have a physical or emotional pain long enough, it actually hardwires into your brain. It becomes perceptual. It becomes a part of how you live your life and your brain even patterns neural pathways to accommodate that over time.
When you're starting at this moment, what is there a specific moment where it's like, now I need to change something in my life? Was it the accident or?
Well, I don't think that was I don't think that wasn't the moment that brought me to be a practitioner. Those were all the ingredients that drew me into that journey. I mean, a lot of people, how did you get into oral health? There has to be a story.
Exactly.
And there's a problem, and I'm an entrepreneur, and when there's a problem that's big enough, and if it involves me, I'm going to solve that problem. And if it involves me and I solve the problem, most likely I'm going to help other people. I mean, that's how an entrepreneur works. It's really solving a problem and then giving that opportunity to other people.
Did you have in the beginning, when this process started, already a longer mission in mind?
No, it was really simply help myself when I started.
Okay.
It was, how do I, listen, I know that we wanted to get into other parts of how we got there. So jumping, if you want to jump all the way to that, yeah, I mean, so I encrypted data for governments, and German government was a very big purchaser of encrypted data. But every government was, and every cartel and every pharmaceutical company in the world, I kept secrets for them. And in 2005, I came out against the US government before Snowden and said, the government's spying on you, and it's not what you think, it's worse than what you think. And as a result, through a series of things in 2008, they arrested me and they held me in solitary confinement for 17 months. 17 months before I could even talk to my accuser.
Right.
And this is in the United States. And you get to learn that there's different levels of what we call law. And there's a law for every average day people, and then there's a law that's political. And I was in a very political situation. And so that's where it all started, really, because I had spent previous to that 20 years just trying to feel good. And I thought I was just living a life. You'll hear practitioners say, if you come to me, like a lot of chiropractors I practice with, hey, this is it for life. And I'm like, it can't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that I need something the rest of my life. I need somebody else, because then that creates an automatic dependency. If I need anybody other than me, somewhere along the line, then somebody holds power over me. And I was in that situation because I needed somebody daily. I needed somebody, 4 or 5 times a week. And after 20 years of trying to solve my own issues, I ended up, and I'd spent $2.5 million. I'd gone to doctors all over the world. I even booked business trips around medical practices that I thought could help me. So I'm like, what kind of business can I do there? Because I need to spend 6 weeks there. And I would find places around the world to go, so that I could find another doctor, another practitioner, another modality, something to make me feel good.
Right.
And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
So, talking about maybe freedom as well. What this time in this 1 year 7 months? What taught this time to you in terms of freedom?
Well, okay, so I was 27 months incarcerated, but 17 in solitary confinement. It changes everything. Most people have never. Can you think about? Have you ever thought about being in jail? No. Has it ever crossed your mind? What happens if you feel that? Yeah, for those of you, okay. And the rest of you never even thought about it.
Well,
Confined in a space, in a small room. In a room that is 8 feet by 10 feet for 17 months. You get out 1 hour every 30 hours to get a shower behind bars. That's what it was like. It was intense. Yeah, I think anybody who goes through an experience like that is cathartic. But that was the ingredients that got me. I wouldn't change it.
Would you say if this experience wouldn't happen, you wouldn't be here today?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. I think everybody's going through a little bit of pain in their lives.
You have
right?
to, yes.
Yeah,
to
but no,
change.
but I think everybody's generally in a little bit of pain right now. Wouldn't you say? You see that happening everywhere, whether it's a relationship, an emotion, whether it's something in family, a sickness or an illness. How many people in this room here have either a chronic condition or have somebody close to them with a chronic condition that they're dealing with their health? Raise your hands. Okay, raise them high. Okay, and I want you, everybody, take a look. Keep your hands raised, up high. Take a look around the room, everybody. Okay, so what you're noticing is that you've got 95% of the room that responded to that question. And a year ago, 2 years ago, we went on tour. 2 years ago, May, we went on tour, and I haven't been home since. And we went to 36 cities. We went to 85, I think probably 90, over 90 events now. And we did it in 13 countries. And we saw anywhere from a couple hundred all the way up to 10,000 people. And I've asked this question repeatedly all over the world. And 2 years ago, a third of you raised your hands. A year ago, 2/3 of you raised your hands. Today, it's 95 to 98% of the audience. So there's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you're interested in this. There's a reason why you're interested in oral health. I mean, that wouldn't even been a topic of conversation 15 years ago. Yeah, the only oral health is Crest. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some stuff.
Cleaning your teeth, period.
Some stuff you put on there, and you go to a dentist once in a while, and that was it. So the reason why you're interested is, and the reason why you're here is because oral health isn't just oral health. Oral health is connected to your gut biome.
Right.
There is something else, and your gut biome is connected to our longevity and our health and the way we think. So these are all things that have shifted in the last 10 to 15 to 20 years. So we're all here looking for something right now. And I was just looking for something like everybody else. I found something. And what I found in this journey is radically shifted my life. Now, I have the ability to share that with people. And it's radically shifted the lives of other people. And it's so simple. And that's the crazy part, that it's the simplicity of having oral health that doesn't destroy your gut biome. And you can drink and eat. That makes sense. I mean, I tell people all the time, if you're not going to put it on your skin, don't put it in your mouth.
Yes, if you can't eat it, you should not eat
it. Why doesn't that apply to things like toothpaste?
Exactly.
Right?
That's what we're trying to change. Gary, a lot of people are, yes, we're talking to an educated would say, audience here. Your audience, our audience, is already a higher level in terms of education and understanding of their own health. But many people are very disconnected.
I'd say the majority of people are.
The majority,
Yeah.
exactly. First of all, how did this happen, and how do you think we can change that?
Well, I think, how did it happen? This has been a conscious plan, and this is part of the reason why I turned into government in 2005, is I saw that I was a part of a conscious plan to control people, deceive them, keep them sick. And I was playing what I thought was an innocent role, which was I was just encrypting data. And for those of you guys who may be data buffs, I put 4,096-bit encryption on a wireless device in 2000. So like they still can't crack that today.
Wow.
And so I think that there's been an attempt to keep us sick. And right now it's obvious that it's happening. I just ask by show of hands, anecdotal science. I don't need a peer-reviewed paper to tell me that everybody's sick or dealing with something today. And if you're dealing with chronic issues, you're also dealing with emotional issues. And if you're dealing with emotional issues, it's affecting your relationships. It's affecting your relationships with your kids, your work, your job. And these things are highly connected to the way our body performs.
Is this the topic you often talk about, the body remembers? That is kind of like these tensions, these experiences are starting to be stored in our body, in our fascia.
Where does memory come from? Well, we were talking about this earlier. It's brain. What is your brain? You guys have all heard your gut is your second brain, right? I challenge that. So when you eat something, you've heard the term they say passing the blood-brain barrier, right? So what does that mean? When I eat something, that food goes up to my head and gets through the dura mater there and passes that barrier somehow? How does that work? We say these things and we use language, we don't even understand the ramifications of the language, and we say them to people to get them to repeat them because then everybody is equally as stupid. Their food didn't go up here, it passed down here. So that means that your brain is actually here. So then what is this? So when a baby's born, there's a ball of plasma, and that ball of plasma has two nerve clusters in it. And those two nerve clusters are connected. Those are the first things that you see in that ball of plasma. And no scientist or doctor can tell you until the 7th week which one becomes the brain, which one becomes the small intestine. But they're connected. So I'm going to say they're the same thing. Like one's your computer, the other one's your display screen. Display screen, computer. That makes more sense. Then the heart grows. And then all the other organs start to grow, and the musculoskeletal system starts to grow. And this ball of plasma, which I call fascia, because that's what it is. It's the same core ingredients. It's a more liquid state, but that's where our water is held. So we have all of these things, and so where does memory come from? To remember. So if I was to say to you to dismember, if I said to dismember, you'd know what I was talking about, right? We're going to take your body and cut you up like some sort of killer, right? So dismember is to take apart parts of the body. It's a very specific word that's used generally only for the body. We've used it in other terms, but it was used around the architecture of talking about the body. We're going to dismember you. Mm-hmm. To remember is to take those pieces and put it back together and recall it. So I'd say that this recalls the memory. And when this isn't working very good with this, then there's not a very good way of recalling. And that's where things like Alzheimer's and dementia and that come in, which are also affected by gut health, because gut health is your brain. So if you wouldn't do it, and furthermore, you ever notice how your brain, the material is all kind of squiggly and pink?
Yes.
Yeah. You ever look at your small intestine? It looks identical. It's squiggly and pink. It's the same thing. And I have this simple rule of the body. If it looks alike, it probably is alike. And it probably does the same thing. That's just a simple rule with working the body. If it looks like the same thing, it probably is.
Let's go to this topic of fascia. When we're talking about fascia, first of all, any one of you can explain what fascia is?
Oh, don't even talk. Because your best explanations are not. I mean, my best explanation is only a story I tell myself right now today, and I'd still not cover it.
Explain in easy words.
Well, in easy words,
this
fascia is considered to be a connective tissue that holds everything together, and it does. It holds everything together. But it not only holds it together because it goes around muscles and organs, but it goes through them as well. So it not only holds it together, fascia is, if you think about it, what I said this to Gary a couple weeks ago. I said, you can cut everything out of the human body, every bone, every tendon, every gland, every organ, you can remove it, but you cannot remove fascia. So that indicates that we are fascia. Like you can take all the furniture out of here, right? You can take every piece of furniture, you can scrape the paint off the walls. But the building is still the building. All that stuff is just decoration inside of it. So all of these things that we've been studying in our bodies about how our bodies works, all the science that we have about the body is how all the things inside the fascia work together. But virtually none of it talks about the building. And if your building was like, if you had all the best furniture and biohacking equipment in here, but your building was sick, had mold, and had toxicity, people come in here and get all the best equipment, but they're getting sick from the building would make them sick. Same thing, if your fascia is sick, everything inside of it's sick.
How does fascia get sick?
Fascia gets sick through things like heavy metal intoxication, dehydration, compression. Fascia holds emotion. So, for example, when you have an emotion, it's not in your head. Matter of fact, your brain has 0 pain sensors. So there is no pain in your brain. Your emotions are held in your body. Your brain up here tells you about them. And it can get confused, by the way. And that's what we use this psychologically in movies. We use this in all different ways to confuse you about what your emotions are. We tell you one thing and say you're supposed to feel this, but it's really called this. And we program people. So what happens is our fascia gets dirty. It's like our body's made up of silica, sand. It's made up of water. It's made up of bacteria. And so that's the same ingredients as a quartz crystal. And we're 70, 80% water, 60% water if you're in current state of awareness. But when you cut our bodies, water doesn't drain out of us. So where's all the water? The water's in that tissue called fascia that holds all that water, and that water is what transports all the information. So how do your fascia get sick? Demineralized? Because if you take the minerals out of water, it doesn't conduct electricity. Heavy metals. You think about if your fascia is sending signals, think about all the little heavy metals in there. The signal goes ping, 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 ping. So then it doesn't get to the place. And if the signal's going ping, 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 then you move your hands and it goes like this. It kind of looks like a nervous disorder, neuromuscular disorder.
This is what Gary has well said, that the fascia is acting like a communication highway.
It is your communication highway. Yeah. Your nerves and your nervous system, Dr. Tom Cowan says it. He says, we're incredibly stupid to think that touching something on a nerve and it goes through all these gateways and comes up to your brain and comes all the way back down to move the body. And I love him because when I heard him say that, I'm like, I've been saying that for years. Like, we agree. It takes too long for our nervous system to respond to stimulus to effectively move the body safely. And if I put a TENS unit right here on your nerve just goes like this. It doesn't gradually move up. It doesn't look like a bicep curl. It goes like this. So even the way that we talk about how we walk does not make sense. Our nerves do not connect information fast enough. We took an EEG, put it on the head, and we put a nerve conducting test on the body, and we stimulated nerves on the foot, and we watched that signal go all the way through the body and then through the brain. And we watched it go all the way back down to the nerves for motor control. That whole pathway took 1.5 seconds. And I'm sitting there saying, wait a second here, hold on. maybe I'm the stupid one in the room, but how do I move when I step on glass? And they're like, oh, dummy, you're not a doctor. You don't understand this. You're not a scientist. It's a ganglion reflex. It's like, and I'm like, okay, so you're telling me I step on glass and I go boing, uncontrollably. No, I actually move intelligently to safety. I move a direction and I move, I don't like knee jerk like that. So that means that there's something beside a muscle, nerve, twitch, uninformed action that's getting us to move, and there's no way in our current understanding of the human body that explains that movement. And I don't have to prove that fascia is what moves it. I mean, I believe fascia moves it, and I'm okay if it doesn't. I'm okay if there's another answer. But I can prove that muscles don't move the body. I can prove that muscles do something other than move the body. They stabilize movement. So that what's moving the body? These are big questions that we just assume the way it is. Listen, I give you a crazy little example, but we used to have a Christmas ham, and my mom would cook the Christmas ham, and she would every year she'd take the ends off the ham. She puts it in a pan, decorates it up, puts it in the oven. One year I'm there, and I'm old enough, and I'm like, why do you cut the ends off the ham? She goes, I don't know. That's what my mom taught me that. And I go to mom and to grandma and said, Mom, grandma, why do you cut the ends off the ham? She goes, because when your mom was young, the pot was too small. But that's what we're doing with the human body, literally, with all of these belief systems that we have. Like perimenopause in your 40s. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that was in your 50s. So how come it's getting younger? Did somebody inform your biological clock to start changing? What happened there? Like, how did that happen? And because everybody else has it, it says normal. No, it's not normal. It's everybody has it. Yeah, if everybody's sick at the same time, that's normal. Everybody's sick, but that's not the way it should be. So we have all these gaping holes in the way that we look at the human body, and we have all these gaping holes in the way that we explain in our world around us. And when enough of us explain it the same way, we go, okay, I'm with that group over there, because we like to identify with things. It doesn't mean it's healthy, and it doesn't mean it's good.
Okay, wow. When we are talking about inflammation connected to fascia, how is the inflammation starting to rise up in the body, and how is the connection to the fascia, and how is the fascia maybe as well transporting or communicating with the inflammation?
Well, what is inflammation? There's multiple types of inflammation. So without getting too sciencey, because I'm not a scientist, so I don't want to get too sciencey on you. There's two pathways. One is called NF-kappa B subgroup. Okay, what that simply means in layman's terms is, because I'm a layman, is that there's the inflammation like cancer, autoimmune disease, all that type of inflammatory does something. It's called a cytokine storm. It's all this inflammation goes down like this one telephone line over here, and that's bad inflammation. But we have all this other inflammation which we need. Like when I go work out, my body heals itself, my muscles. That's good inflammation, right?
We call it Muskelkater in Germany.
So we have to have good inflammation and bad inflammation, and the bad inflammation is highly regulated by this little thing called stress. And what we're taught about stress, like when you ask somebody what is stress, their typical thing they would say to you is, it's like my work, my job, my life, my finances, my taxes. Those are stressful things, right? Those are stressful things. That's not stress. Stress is my reaction to them. If I'm hungover or I'm dealing with life crisis, all those things are overwhelming. But if everything's going good in my body and I'm happy and I'm exercising and moving, then all those things are still there, but they don't feel so bad. If that makes sense. So stress is our reaction to the environmental issues that we have in our life, both physical and emotional and perceptual. And if our body can't process the information, it accumulates it. And that accumulation is the holding of energy. And that holding of energy is what we call stress. And that stress, another way you can look at it, inflammation is stress, and stress is inflammation. If you're stressed out, you'll be highly inflamed. I've had a lot of stress over this last couple months here, and unusually high, like insanely high, more than I've had in 20 years. And I've felt the inflammation.
I'm happy to hear that, yeah, that even you are having stress in yeah.
We can't change these things, and if you're doing something that's helping people in the world, you're going to have more of it. If you're not getting any stress, you're nowhere near the target if you're not getting any stress.
Is stress something good?
Sure, it's a regulator. It tells us where we are in space and time, but the things that we don't have to let it dysregulate us. That's why when we do a fascial maneuver, you remove 75 to 90% of the stress within minutes. So getting rid of unregulated stress is important. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be functioning right now.
So meaning the work you're doing, like looking at a typical person who's not doing the work. So the process of stress creates inflammation, the fascia gets more tense, the body somehow creates these areas in the body where you're starting to feel I'm not fluent anymore.
Right.
Yeah? On the one hand, it's so easy when we're looking at your work, it's so easy to release these tensions. Why is that not taught, for example, in a much more global area? Why is it still kind of like such a new thing? It should be taught in school.
Well,
right?
The condition of human beings, we didn't really need this 100 years ago. So our environment's changed. It's like, why didn't we teach it? Because only 40 years ago, people walked 7 to 10 miles a day. Amazing stress reliever to walk. And people actually went out and they would be in nature, and they would go to lakes and they would climb and just look at any picture of a beach in the 1950s and look at the bodies of the people there. I was recently in Amsterdam, and that was one of the most interesting things, because we were staying at this hotel that was right on this dock where everybody goes swim. And first of all, it was interesting because I'm out there swimming, and next thing I know, I turn around, everybody's naked. They're changing, and I didn't. First of all, I was not aware of that. That was the thing. But what I did notice in their nakedness was they were all extremely ripped, whether they were 7 years old, 10 years old, whether they were 70 years old. They're all lean and muscular. And I'm like, what is it about this nation that does that? Well, they all ride bikes. Okay. But I know lots of people in the United States that ride bikes all the time, and they don't look like that. So it can't be the bikes. It has to be something else.
True.
And well, the one thing that was different in the Netherlands than anywhere else in the world, just one thing, and this I'll get back to it. I'll relate this back to oral health. The water that comes to their taps is drinkable. It's filtered by carbon and light filter. It's the only municipal water system in the world that doesn't put chemicals in the water.
Netherlands.
Yeah.
The only country.
Yeah. And as a result, first of all, the mechanics of it, they all look beautifully lean, bizarrely. And I'm like, wow, that's incredible. So this is back to oral health, because you're getting in your shower here, and I brought a shower filter, like Garry, because I won't touch your city water here.
Good choice.
Yeah, but that's what's disrupting your microbiome, because you're absorbing that water and that chemical through your skin. You're absorbing it through your skin. If you don't put it on your skin, then why would you? If you would eat it, don't put it on your skin. Well, you're putting water in your skin all the time. You get a shower of that.
Can we quickly quickly is a good topic, talk about the nervous system, the microbiome, and the fascia, how is that connected and dependent on each other?
The nervous system, okay, the microbiome is the brain. The nervous system is functioning around that brain, because that brain tells you if you're happy or you're sad. If your biome's off. If I got an IV today, thank you very much, because I had gone through just a period and I couldn't regulate, and I had a bunch of treatments before I left America. I didn't eat for 2 days, and then and all of a sudden it's like I was out, and because my liver couldn't process and I could feel it. Sometimes it happens. And if your microbiome is not happy, then your hormones aren't happy. If your hormones aren't happy, it's a downhill slide from there. Your nervous system is what responds to that. Like if you're happy, like for example, sadness and joy is the same chemical reaction in your nervous system. But they both make you cry. If you're happy when you're sad, you cry when you're sad, and you cry when you're happy. But for some reason, one of them makes you feel good and one of them makes you feel bad. Another one is anxiety and excitement. It's the same chemical. Or love and
Hate.
It's the same chemical, but somehow your body, one of those, the experience is good, it moves you forward. The other one is an experience that moves you backwards. But what is different about it? What's different about it is how you perceive it, and that perception comes from how your gut is acting.
And the memory as well, right? What we learned about fear and...
Sure, but if you're producing enough serotonin, it doesn't matter if you learned it the wrong way, your body's open to the new experience. Has anybody here done psilocybin?
Sorry?
Has anybody here done psilocybin? Magic mushroom? Okay, so you automatically you see the world a different way. And if you see the world a different way, then it's not even your learned experience. If you have the pathways open, serotonin is one of those hormones that lets you do it. But your serotonin's in there, it's in your small intestine. And so if you keep putting toothpaste in your small intestine, it's not good for you. Even if it's healthy toothpaste, like Tom's, it's still disrupting your microbiome.
We're coming to oral health in a minute, but
I thought we were already there.
no. Specific questions on that. I would love to do a little movement
Sure.
regarding the topic of the nervous system.
Okay, so let's
How
do
to
some
regulate that. Mhm.
Okay, so everybody just kind of get a sense of where you're at. Close your eyes. And just feel your body. Just feel if there's anything tight, anything aching. Start your feet. Go up your legs to your knees. Move up through your hips. Move up the trunk of your body to your rib cage. All the way up to your shoulders, to your neck. Move your neck around. And then up to your head. And then last thing is, notice what you notice, like sounds or... And then open your eyes. So let's do something that changes your state. Movement is life, breath is movement. The origin of all movement is breath. So the first primordial movement is breath. You hear this? Anybody here practice breath work of any kind?
Yes.
Okay, lots of breathwork practitioners. So I'm a breathwork practitioner too. I think we are by living, because we practice breathing, right? Does anybody here have a breath rate naturally under 10?
Depends on the situation.
Yeah, so my breath rate naturally is between 2 and 3 breaths per minute. That's just sitting here. If I'm exerting myself, I'll go up to 5 or 6. So, and I'm going to show you the secret to that. It's oxygenation in your tissue, which we're going to open up. So cross your right leg over so you get a big clutch. Okay, take your right hand, put it underneath your left foot, left hand on top. Turn your head to the left and turn your body to the right. What I want you to do is to purse your lips like you're sucking air through a straw. Imagine your lungs are balloons. Breathe in the air and hold it. Go. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Breathe in more. Hold it, breathe in more. Turn a bit more to the right. Turn your head to the left and exhale. Breathe in again. More. More. Exhale. Breathe in again. More. More. Exhale. Now in through your nose, now through your mouth 6 times. Three more. Okay, now slowly turn your head to the right and your body to the left. This time squeeze your spine, squeeze your sex organs, purse your lips, draw air in and hold it. More, more. Hold it, exhale. Breathe in again. More, more. Exhale. Breathe in again. More, more. Exhale. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Three, 4, 5, 6. Now repeat these words. I feel safe.
I feel safe.
I forgive myself.
I forgive myself.
I can stop overthinking.
I can stop overthinking.
Okay, just let your body go. Now, move around a little bit from shoulder. Go back and close your eyes and just feel your body again. Just feel, scan up through your feet, through your legs, through your hips, up through your body, through your neck and your chest. Your head, move your neck around. Then open your eyes and then look around. Does it look brighter? Who here, it looks like it appears brighter or more colorful? Okay, so about 75%. So why do you think it looks brighter? It looks brighter, right?
Absolutely.
Like intensely bright for you.
Yes.
That's because you took this.
All right, now we're talking.
Now,
Yes.
now you feel it?
Yes, absolutely.
I gave him our fascial release. It's the world's strongest anti-inflammatory, and it only targets the fascial tissue. There's nothing on the planet like it. It's a patent, and in 25 minutes, it lights you on fire.
I forgot, and now I realize the effect. Thank you.
So everything appears to be a little bit brighter. Take a deep breath. You got more capacity to breathe. This is why you see Novak Djokovic doing this while he's sitting down in between matches.
Yeah, and everyone thought like, what is this guy doing here?
Yeah, it's resetting your nervous system that quick. Now, he doesn't have that much time to do it. He just does a quick sequence of breaths to get it through, but resets the nervous system right away. And I appear closer, and everybody appears to be lighter and brighter and softer. That's one movement. And you can do that seated or standing. And if you regulate your stress, because we talked about that earlier, if you reduce your stress and you do that only one time per day over the course of 30 days, 28 to be exact, it resets your nervous system completely. Even if you just do that one time per day.
I knew already that we're crushing the time, so let's go to oral health. So we started already talking about it, Gary. Why does oral health resonate so strongly with you?
Well, it's interesting because I've been thinking about the body in a new way. Everything, all this tissue here is the exact same as all that tissue down there. Both ends. It looks the same. It's actually the same tissue. And it's one complete tube that goes all the way through your body. So inside of our pressurized body, there's a tube that goes from stem to stern that's completely pressurized.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting. It's you got a bubble inside of a balloon, because we're a balloon and there's a bubble or a balloon, like a snake animal balloon in there. That's, first of all, it's interesting. The second thing is that every part of your body means something. Like, for example, you have all the organs, and you have 10 primary organs, and they express themselves through meridians, Chinese meridians. They're even accepted by science these days. Begrudgingly, but they accept them. Well, they all connect to end caps of your teeth. Here's something that's interesting. Bones that come too close together in your body, they fuse, right? Does anybody know anybody who has a fused bone? Fused hip, fused shoulder? Yeah, it happens to us, right? If they come too close together, they automatically fuse together. Okay, so when your tooth cracks, how come it doesn't fuse? That's a good question. That's a question I asked. I asked every dentist I knew, and thousands, and no one can answer it. Well, is it the same bone as the bone in your body? Well, let me give you, have you ever split your nail? And if you don't pull it out, it'll grow split forever, right? And you have splits like a crack. Then you have to pull it out. And then it grows back. What if your tooth was supposed to do that? Because it's teeth, hair, nail, skin. It's the same. So what if it was different? And I'm not saying I have I can't prove this to you, but I have some interesting things to point out. Like I'm going to meet Torgen Biopharma from Japan, who has blocks a heat shock protein called USAG1, and your teeth is within 2 weeks of taking it start to grow, even if they haven't been there for 20 years.
How does it work?
Well, they're blocking a protein in your blood, and when that protein is exhibiting in your blood, your body doesn't grow another tooth. But as soon as they block it, then your body grows a tooth. So my question is, when did it get blocked? When did this happen to us?
Right.
Okay, let me throw one at you. You ever see those skeletons where they show the full skulls of the ancient men?
Sure.
And if the skull's intact, I mean, like if there wasn't like half the skulls smashed in, have you ever noticed that they all have a completely full set of teeth? And yes, they didn't have sugar.
Including the wisdom teeth, right?
Yeah, but they didn't have sugar and all that stuff. But you're telling me that one of those guys got their tooth knocked out fighting? Not one? They all have a full set of teeth? How is that possible? How is it possible that every single skeleton out of the tens of thousands that I've viewed, how come they all have a full set of teeth? What if their teeth actually grew back? What if they didn't have that protein block? And what if somewhere along the line that protein blocked, and that's why we have these limited sets of teeth?
Where's that protein block comes from?
That's what I want to know. You're asking the $1 million question. To be honest with you, you're asking the hundreds of billions of dollars a question, because an entire industry is based around the fact that if you lose it, it's going to go away for life. But if you just pull it out and a new one grows, wouldn't that change everything?
I mean, honestly, if you're looking at sharks, exactly this is what's happening.
That's what's going to happen. That's going to happen right now. Clinical trials are already in the United States. You're going to be able to grow your teeth back. It's happening. There is no questions about this. And in 2006, at the University of Alberta, they grew a frequency device made out of ultrasound that they put on the tooth, and they scaled down with nanotechnology to get right to a single tooth. Published, patented in the news media, and it regrows your teeth within 3 weeks. And then it disappeared in 2007. So you're going to ask me that. You want to talk about oral health? That's what I want to know about.
Okay.
I want to.
Let's take this into the future as a project.
I want to understand that. I want to understand that because, and that's what I'm going through in my journey. I've been sharing it with you, my own journey.
Right.
I have teeth that were pulled out through some bad dental decisions and stuff like that, and I'm done with it. It's time to grow these things back.
Is the mouth the gateway into the body? We talked about it. The tube is connected. why do we still treat oral health separately from oral health?
Well, the same reason why we treat cardiology differently from from neurology, and why we treat dentistry different than orthopedics.
What was the process to that?
The process is the same from the world that I came from. It's compartmentalized. If you want to make people stupid, you take away, you put everything in little compartments, and you never give anybody the full picture. We do some software. We keep a kernel. We let people develop without actually touching the core of it, and that way they can never steal it, or they don't really know the whole picture. So that's why it's treated that way. It's treated that way simply for that. You know, and quite honestly, dentists are my favorite doctors in the world. They're the most open. They're the ones I like to work with. Well, depends. I mean, just generally. I mean, you can say that with anybody, but I have more fun with dentists when I talk to them because they're more interesting because they're like, well, I don't really know, but I'm open to the idea as a dentist. Yeah. The doctor's like, nah, not that.
Yeah, specifically the new generation of dentists who are starting to see oral health as an overall connection to.
Yeah, they're not so long in the tooth.
Yes.
I know you have to bite down on that one for a minute.
That's true. Do you believe the mouth is one of the missing links in modern health? The microbiome as well?
I say that, I think I would put it another way. I think if we take more time to understand the connection between the mouth and the rest of our body, the missing links will start to show up. I think it's a clue, and it's a series of clues. Like you've touched my body, I feel different. I feel like a 6-month-old, and my skin is highly absorbent. When I went 44 days without eating, I went 2 weeks without drinking.
If you touch them, it's really different. Sometimes you really want to do this on and on and on again. So such a different feeling. So
the idea is that people ask how'd you go without eating? Well, I got in the shower, got in a bath, swam in the lake or the ocean. And I was completely, if I was thirsty, I sat in a bath. And I wasn't thirsty anymore. I have more absorption through my skin than the average person does. That's partly why I believe I breathe a lot less, because I believe that water is just a different form of air. And my fascia seems to want to transport that better. But there's a massive connection. And the internal health of our body through the GI tract is trying to regulate water on the inside. Well, the outside of your body is trying to regulate water on the outside. And if you use dirty city water to shower and bath in, then it blocks that connection and it traps everything inside, which causes methylation issues, hormone issues. Like I don't sweat like normal people either. And I methylate differently. And all of these issues that came up around it. So I really think that once we learn more about the mouth, and what I'm currently going through is teeth that were eroding when there should be, what they would say medically is they would say you have a metabolic issue, but I don't have one. I clearly don't have one because I'm getting younger. My biological age keeps dropping, but there's something about the teeth that I haven't been able to explain, and I'm working on it. And when I find that answer out, I'm going to share it openly because I think we're on a verge of a big breakthrough in this.
Really interesting case. How do you think the oral microbiome has an impact on maybe as well your case? Do you think that a microbiome which is fully intact, yeah, because when we're coming when we're getting on Earth, we have a fully intact microbiome in the gut,
Sure.
skin, in the mouth. So over time, we're ruining this microbiome through the diets, through the things we're consuming, and as well as the products we're using in the end. Yeah, so we're constantly creating kind of like creating kind of like something
disrupting the natural
disrupting,
state.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah, if you go in your garden and you just keep flooding water into the garden. You just keep flooding water. You never let it go. The natural flora of that garden will start to grow. You can't just keep. That's why even overbrushing and over consuming and anything that kills it. Like one of the worst things is mouthwash, which is what you have a great answer to.
How can fascia tension affect the jaw and the oral health in general?
Well, fascial tension is blood flow. You can all do this with me. Take your right hand, put it on your right cheek facing backwards. Take your left hand, put it on your left cheek facing forward. What I want you to do is to push in very firmly, good push, and twist. Okay, now breathe 3 times through your mouth. Now look up, breathe 3 times. Put your chin at your chest, and you can retighten if you want, and breathe 3 times. Look up to the right and breathe 3 times. Look up to the left, breathe 3 times. Okay. Now, did it get brighter?
Yes.
Did it get brighter for anybody?
I'm on this special pills.
Yeah, you forget. So move your neck and head around.
Yes.
Does your neck feel looser?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody's neck feels looser. Feel brighter? Do you feel more present?
Yes.
Okay, so your jaw is the biggest regulator of stress response in your body. There's nothing in your body that responds to stress quite like your jaw. So if the fascia in your jaw is tight, like every time you're going to exert force, every time you're going to brace against something, you clench your jaw. So you stabilize your jaw to tell your body that there is an external force that's going to destabilize you and you want to stabilize. So you create tension. So every stressful moment, physically or emotionally you've had in your body, you've clenched your jaw. And when your jaw's tight, your brain thinks you have an external stressor. So how does it attention? Absolutely. If it just changed you right now in that simple little thing, what happens if you do that? Now, if you want to measure the stress in your body and you want to do it like a hormone panel, you'll find just by doing that one little thing, doing that twice a day, that you'll have a 50% less cortisol in your body in the spiking parts of your day, like the evening, and you'll have a 75 to 90% reduction in your stress load throughout the day, just by doing that twice a day. Now that changes everything because we're back to your gut biome was dysregulated by stress. Your body's dysregulated by stress. If your body's in stress, you eat food and that food doesn't properly digest or process. So these are all regulated by the same thing. And your jaw, which is connected to your mouth and your oral health, is all part of it.
Would that movement we did also reduce the situation that you're at night crunching your teeth?
Well, the reason why you do that, there's only 2 reasons why you do that, is that your nervous system is wound up tight. Like you could do that without having necessarily a tight body yet. Or the second thing is that you have compression in your body. Like if your neck is forward like this and your shoulders roll forward, you're going to clench your jaw no matter what you do. And when you do our 15-minute stress resets, when you do our resets, you'll see people over a course of 1 to 2 months. We have tens and tens of thousands of people that send in photos. They have a complete realignment of their posture, which then again says, your posture is connected to your fascia, which is connected to your stress, which is connected to your oral microbiome. Because if your body fires adrenaline, your oral microbiome changes instantaneously. Like you take a measure of your body in stress, take it out of stress, and test your microbiome. It changes Right. So the real answer is we're fighting all these other things, and all we really have to do is fight stress. And if you putting in harmful chemicals in your body
Sure.
and you're pushing around all day, you're creating stress.
Let's talk about the tongue. On the one hand, the tongue is a carrier of bacteria as well.
Tongue's super important.
Tongue is super important.
Are you asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you.
You're asking me because you want one?
No. We do this later, maybe.
No, I think it would be great. I think it'd be very entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I see your tongue? Oh yeah.
What is, oh yeah,
You change your life.
okay.
Yeah, we're talking about a tongue pull. Have you guys seen that online?
Yes, this is what
We reset the entire tongue. Tongue is the largest muscle in your neck. And mechanically, it changes your performance instantly. But it changes the way you breathe. It changes the jaw position. It changes everything. And so I think he's asking for his tongue to be pulled.
I still need to ask a couple of questions. But if you haven't seen it, have a look at these videos. It's really
it's a crazy
remarkable.
experience. Yeah, it's one of the most. It's because we do it for Olympic level athletes. It helps them perform, and they do it themselves before they're done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it is a crazy from a performance side. But what it does to you emotionally is off the chart.
Cannot imagine that I'm pulling my tongue like you would do it, actually.
No, you never will pull like me. I'm not pulling your leg either.
Okay, let's quickly look at like really short. Yeah. So, what is your oral health routine in the morning?
For me, I don't eat until 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So for me, it's usually something like coconut oil, or I'll do some sort of swishing and pulling. But I don't eat until the afternoons anyway. So.
Okay. Do you brush?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
First thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No. First thing in the morning, I don't. I just use fluids in the morning.
Okay.
I've tried different routines over the years,
Mhm.
but currently, because I don't eat until 2 o'clock usually, so I wait until after that to do my first.
But wait 30 minutes after you have eaten, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, which aggressive ingredients you avoiding?
You mean in toothpaste?
Mm-hmm. For example, yeah.
Well, fluoride. I mean, that's the one. I mean, the use of fluoride was actually pioneered here in Germany. Yeah, during Auschwitz. It was to keep the prisoners from fighting back. That's actually the institution of fluoride, because it dumbs down the nervous system, disconnects your brain live line. They knew that back then. That was actually right here in Germany is where it started.
So how do you explain then that fluoride is in many countries in the water?
Oh, it's growing right now. I mean, it was 98% of it was in the water in America up to 10 years ago. Now it's all over the world now.
Not in every country.
No,
Germany,
it's not. It's not in every country, but it's covered.
But U.S., for example, the first states are starting to eliminate fluoride out of water.
You know, do you want me to tell you the truth about it?
Please.
Yeah, you can eliminate it all you want. The pathways and delivery systems are already polluted. They're just saying, hey, we'll take fluoride out of the water because we know it's bad. Now we have the evidence, and now you caught us. Yeah, so we're going to take it out of the water, but you can't take it out of the tissue. It's already been in there, and you've had it. You've given it to your kids. It's affected the DNA of your children. You know, like why are kids that are growing up in Costa Rica right now? I had one come up to see me. The parents came up to see me, and the kid had like 10 cavities, 8 years old, and the kid has never had any sugar, has an oral health routine that's good, is outside in nature all the day, and it's because of the parents. It's because of their DNA. Dr. Zach Bush. If you watch our first podcast with him, you'll be shocked at what he says.
Interesting.
If you go to Human Garden Experience, watch the first podcast with Zach Bush, and he was talking about DDT and then glyphosate, but that same thing applies to things like fluoride.
Okay, fluoride aside, hydroxyapatite, for example, as a remineralization agent. Do we need remineralization for our teeth?
We need remineralization in our body. So, part of the bigger issue that you were asking is like, why are we so stressed? One of the common things that I can see, I'm 80% water, by the way. This is 80% water. People around me are less than 80% water generally.
Because they are not drinking enough?
No, as a matter of fact,
Demineralizing?
no, that's the biggest lie. 8 glasses of water a day was a lie. So what happens is, if we go back 30 years ago when we said the body, we're 70% water. 30 years before that, so 60 years ago, we were 80% water. Today in med school, right now today, they're teaching 60 to 65%. So one of the major constructions of this building would be brick and concrete. But if you took the concrete, if you took 20% of the material out of the concrete, the stability of the building would fail.
Right.
We're made of water. And if we used to be 80%, but we're 60% today, what happens when you dehydrate the body? When you dehydrate the body gets stiffer. There's stress and movement that causes hormones to go up, dysregulating hormones. We are stressed out because we're dehydrated and demineralized. And consequently, over the last 60 years, every disease known to mankind has reached its peak. Simultaneously, in that last 60 years, we've gone from 80% to 60% water. I'm just going to draw the comparison. I can't prove scientifically that that's the reason for all those things, but I can tell you that when you're dehydrated, your body is stressed out, even through movement.
Of course, you need your.
And I can point to everybody in the world today, and they're more stressed than they were 30 years ago. We have science for that. So I can draw all these conclusions together. And then you're talking about how did we get there? That's the interesting one. You know all those lines in the skies that come from planes that seem to stick around, which they actually tried to shut down our clinic for in 2019. I had done 10,000 hair mineralization samples. We were testing hair follicles. And what we found is that there was an elevated level of barium, strontium, and aluminum in everybody's hair follicles. But we couldn't figure out, our clients came from all over the world. Patients came from all over the world. So we couldn't figure out, where is this coming from? Like, how is this possible? They all have the exact same. It can't be. And because they live in different areas, they eat different foods, there's all these different things that are different. But the one thing that was consistent was that in the sky, the geoengineering, doesn't matter why they do it, it has barium, strontium, and aluminum. Barium is very specific. It depletes the body's silica. Silica is an element, and without silica, calphos, selenium, and all the other elements don't properly absorb, then the minerals don't properly absorb. So if you take out one, it's a building block, they all start to malabsorb. So right now, 90+%, I don't know how to measure this, but the majority of people that we look at all over the world, the majority of them, in every case, are dehydrated, which means they're demineralized because their body can't hold the water anymore. That is the issue that we're having. And yes, we do need to be remineralized, but we need to remineralize not just at the tooth level. We need to get silica back in our diet. And the one thing that we did is we added, because of my wife, she's the one that figured this out. And it's just a crazy idea. And it's like, what happens if we put 600 milligrams of silica in everybody's protocol with 10,000 patients? You know what happened? Everybody changed. Everybody. Every single lab test changed. And positive. Everybody.
Okay, sounds like a core supplement.
Right. And then, yes, you have to remineralize your teeth, but we have to take the problem at the root, because you asked how they're all connected.
Right.
Well, if you demineralize the body, you dehydrate the body. If you dehydrate the body, then even movement and breathing is stressful. That ramps up your hormones. Stress then dysregulates your body to absorb and digest and process. It also pushes down your gut microbiome, which changes your mouth microbiome, which then starts cavities and other things in your mouth.
Right.
It's all one big cycle. And if we just take care of it here, but we don't take care of it in the other way, right, in our fascia, then we'll do better, but we're not going to solve the problem.
That's it. That's it, guys.
And it is a problem. It is a problem. Guys, you look at this right now. Cancer right now, turbo cancers. They're saying it's one in 4, between 1 in 4 and 1 in 6 in women. It's actually 1 in 2. They're lying to you about the numbers. Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's right now. Autoimmune diagnoses of autoimmune Parkinson's, autoimmune diagnosis. Autism was 1 in 24,000 just 20 years ago. It's like 1 in 18 right now. And it's getting lower fast. Like, we're there.
Wow.
We need a change.
We need to jump over a couple of questions, otherwise we're sitting until 10 o'clock here. What advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Don't believe everything you read. I mean, realistically, to open my eyes and question everything. I think I went along with everybody who said this is the science and this is how it works. And I became a scientist, an N1 scientist, not because I wanted to, because I had to, because I didn't have another option. And what I've uncovered, I just keep asking big questions, and when I ask big questions, I get big answers eventually. I would just say question everything. Learn what's right for you, and what's right for you is not right for me. This whole thing that we should all be one way, it's not that way. All of the tests that we're being taught, like right now we're measuring using blood as a primary measurement to measure health in people. Blood can't measure health. It can only measure how close you are to death. Like we have all these crazy things that we do as standard. Question everything.
If there's one thing every person here should now start doing tomorrow, what would it be?
The one thing that you could do tomorrow that would change your life is to reduce stress 1 time per day actively. And it takes as little as 15 minutes, but 7 to 10 minutes. We have a 15-minute stress reset. It's free of charge. We have tried this over millions of people now, and anybody who does this on a daily basis has a radical shift in their life in the first 28 days. There's not one person, we've not had one negative report. Because it's a simple premise. If you can reduce stress, and I'm not saying this is the only way. I'm saying it's very quick. You felt the benefit of doing this, just a couple movements right here. If you just do that, then what happens is we stop having to manage so many other problems.
Thank you, Gary. Do we have questions? Sorry.
Tongue pull?
Tongue pull? Wait.
Who wants to
Do
see
we
us pull?
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Okay. Someone gives us some tissues, please. Are there questions in the audience? Emily, Sabina. Online, here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, what's your name?
Julie, hi.
Hi, Julie. Julie, when's your birthday?
Just a second.
Remember?
Your birthday.
Remember?
So- Okay.
You want the year?
No. Just want to know who I was talking to.
Just astrologically, right?
Yeah. Always looking for balance. Secret artist, or maybe not so secret.
I was born in the first hour of Libra, so I just made it.
Yeah.
My question is, in my experience, any reset of the nervous system brings up resistance. I would like to know why that is.
For you particularly?
No, in general, I see any kind of practice, whether people start meditation or...
You mean the resistance in doing it?
Yeah.
Oh, so like a social compliance
Not a
resistance?
social, no, it's just like you're coming up against something, right? And
Yeah. Okay.
what's your workaround? If you have a 28-day program,
Yeah. So the workaround is people do things when they need to. Like we have a 45-minute practice, which is what shifted my body after 35 years, $17.5 million, hundreds of practitioners becoming one, in pain during the pandemic, 10 movements done a couple times a day, eliminated all my 35 years worth of issues in just over a month. So that was the solution, but we couldn't get people to do it that way. So 45 minutes, they thought they had to actually go and take time out to do it. So we shortened it to 15 minutes. And then you just already did it right here in one movement. So what you just do is you're talking about patterns and habits, and you need to get people engaged in doing something simple that they can repeat. Because we're asking to change their life, and their life is a series of habits got them in trouble. So one thing that they can do, just get them to do one thing. I get them to do one maneuver 3 times a day. Set your watch, do it 3 times a day.
But there's a narrative we tell ourselves, or we've been conditioned to believe that change is actually not possible. Is that something you encounter in people? Is it changing the narrative? Is that important?
Well, here's what I was saying earlier. When you take your body out of stress, your narrative changes. And most workouts push people into stress first. So the reason why it's hard to do a workout is because they have to go through a pain to get the result. When you do a fascial maneuver, you instantaneously your serotonin goes up, oxytocin goes up. And that's the same thing that they get when they're trying to get you to watch on your phone. So basically, I found that people really easily adapt this because it doesn't have a pain mechanism to get you to a pleasure. So that's just and I've been working with people on compliance issues through training. I was a bodybuilder. I trained people on the side, even when in my business career, because that's what I like to do. And I found that this is the easiest way.
Other questions, guys?
So we have some questions here.
from the live stream.
Just a second.
First question. Hello, would love to know your thoughts on peptides and hydrogen water.
Hydrogen water, absolutely. That's water in nature. Hydrogen machines, I usually carry one with me, even when I travel. The peptides are great, but like anything else, I think your supply is really important. You have to know where you're getting it from, and understand that this is something that's unregulated. Anytime you put something in your body that alters the way that your body signals, it's going to cause changes. And like anything else, I believe in experimentation. I don't want to wait till somebody tells me it's safe. I don't need somebody to tell me it's safe for my body. I know right away. And so peptides are great, and there's some really good ones, like the sleep peptide. What is that one? 232?
Decent.
Yeah, and BP 157. Like, you can't go wrong with taking some of these. They will just literally help your nervous system. And they're not medications, and they're not supplements. They're somewhere in between. So I really think this is an answer. And the new peptides are coming out. You don't need needles. You just put it on your tongue. Super cool.
Thank you. The next question is, what was the name of the podcast of the product regarding fluoride?
Oh, the podcast is Zach Bush, yeah. Oh, so just go to Human Garage Experience, go to the Gary Lineham, Zach Bush, and it was actually his first episode. It wasn't about fluoride, but it was about how chemicals affect multi-generations. It's super powerful, and you'll be scared at the end of that podcast, and rightfully so. But there's a solution, and that's the bigger part. Anybody else have a question? Yes.
Sticking to the theme of oral health, why do you think that some children have, when the big teeth come out, the adult teeth, that they're kind of all over the place?
You mean why their nervous systems are all over the place?
Yeah, but also why some mouths, that they're too narrow, that the teeth are kind of coming out in all sorts of positions, that they need a lot of...
There's a whole bunch of little things. Who was that little girl that I was working with earlier?
Yeah, from Lena and Reiner.
She had
Ruby.
She had like 3 hours in the delivery. Her head had compression around here. So her jaw was forward, her neck is tight, and her shoulder was... And that was from birth. And I just showing the mother how to remove some of that, and we removed about 50% of that just in a couple of minutes. There's a lot of issues that happen. One of the things is that in Vietnam, the doctors regularly, when they give birth, they would swipe the palate to straighten out the palate of the mouth. If your palate is straight, your head grows straight. And at the early days of formation, that's a big one, which we're never taught. There's no doctors that do that today. Yeah, but that's partly why, is because the head is not separate. It's a reflection of the body. And if I'm torqued out like this and my hips are out, I'm also going to be out. And kids today, their bodies are whacked out. their kids are like this. And that's part of the reason. So for our kids especially, it's important to get them into routines that move their body and move their fascia again, like they used to when we were. And they, by the way, they have other stressors too, the chemicals. But that's why. If I was to pull on my shirt right here, you're going to feel the effect right there. If I pull here, it's going to change something. It's going to change the angle, the aptitude of a tooth. It's going to change how my jaw pulls. And, like for me, I had some really bad dental work and I had to have some stuff pulled out. And because I chewed on one side for many years, I got asymmetries in my face. And that's what I was waiting. I'm like, either a grow new teeth or implant and then take on and grow. I've been waiting for this because that's the last part of my stabilization.
I was going to ask, if you have a non-straight jaw, do you think it's worth straightening that out later on in life?
If you look at any of the pictures, the before and afters on our photos, you see people's jaws completely change within a matter of minutes, like literally. If I was to do a jaw release and your body, your entire face would change. So I think we need to do that kind of work first, and then whatever's left over, then mechanically do. Because there's a point to like widening the palate. As an example, widening upper palate makes a big difference on how you breathe and position. But also, if you're rolling like this, you're not going to breathe right. Your upper palate, it's going to change your gut biome. It's all going to change anyways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, just to add something to you, it's like thank you, the tongue position. When you look at kids and they breathe through the mouth when they sleeping or snoring, that is not a good sign either. So the tongue needs to be on the palate, then it's the pressure on the palate, and then the palate can widen, and then they can breathe properly. And then the whole jaw as well is like changing the form, and then the breathing is better, right?
100%. And but if your kids are like this, and shoulders are rolled in, their tongue position is automatically wrong. You can't have a right tongue position. So we need to correct the whole body. This is where I love full body dentistry is coming into play. Mm-hmm. I worked with some of the top full body dentists back in the clinic, and that's really what you're talking. It's about where dentistry is not separate from mechanics and movement and stuff like that. But you have to have that tongue there. It's the most powerful muscle. Tongue pull?
Right.
Any other questions about that? Last question? Yeah.
Last question, yes. No questions?
Okay.
Left? Awesome. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.